Welcome back everybody. In this video we are going to learn wall command, which is the most used command in Revit for architectural work. Now I'm gonna start with my Archi template. We created this template in previous videos. I'm gonna select that and it's going to create a project for us. It's a very simple template. Let me quickly show you what we have in this. So if we go to the Manage tab, we'll look at the project units are set to feet and fractional inches. If we go to the project information, we have some project information set up already for us. We have level 1, level 2, site level 1 for ceiling and level 2 for ceiling plans. Alright, we have one door schedule what we created. Now in this video we're going to learn a wall command. So let's go to the architectural tab. Now in the wall command, if you click on this arrow button, you have this drop down menu where we have three kinds of wall. The most used one is wall architectural, which is here by default. Let's select that wall command. Now once we select the wall command, you notice that we have this modify panel. We have an extra modify panel which is related to our command, which we selected as a wall command. Now you pay attention to option bar, which we have a lot of options here. We'll look at them as well. Now let's look how to create a wall. The simplest way is, if you pay attention at the bottom, it says click to enter wall start point. Now I'm gonna click here and now I'm gonna move my cursor, and as you can see it's trying to snap that wall as well on the particular angle as well. This is called object snapping. We'll look at that in a later video, but now let's look at the wall. So this is the wall. To complete this wall command, I have to click the endpoint. So it's telling me the dimensions on the top as well. I'm gonna click here. Now I have successfully created a wall. Now we are still in a wall command and we can still start our point from where we left off from the previous wall. And I can keep clicking to create as many as walls I want. But pay attention, if I click on the starting point of a wall, I'm going to click here and it will stop the wall command. It will stop the chain. We are still in a wall command, but we need to select the starting point now. This is due to this option, chain. Chain means that once you click on the wall and you select the endpoint, and then it will start chaining that wall. So you will have another walls command started automatically where you can select and keep drawing the wall. But once you click on the starting point of your wall, that would complete the wall. So that is basically surrounding the whole boundary. Now this is because of the chain command. I'm going to zoom in here and then I'm going to uncheck this chain command. And I'm going to start my wall from here by clicking here, and I will move my cursor to the right to create a wall. So pay attention, if I click again and I will move my cursor away, as you can see the wall didn't start automatically because we unselected this chain command. So it is not going to start our command automatically. But it's a good idea to keep the chain on, because we can get out of the wall command by pressing escape one time. So let's check that chain again, and now I'm gonna start a wall again by clicking here, and I'm gonna click here, and now it's starting a chain, right? But pay attention, if I press escape key on my keyboard, make sure you press once, press escape, and now we're still in the wall command, but the chain function has stopped. So that's the chain function. Now we have created a few walls here. Now let's look at the drop panel we get with the wall command. Now as you can see, we have selected that line. We have a rectangle. We have inscribed polygon, circumscribed polygon, circle, arc, and we have this option pick faces. Now these are pretty self-explanatory, because if we click on a rectangle and I will pick this point and I will move my cursor away, and as you can see it's drawing a rectangle. Now if I select this inscribed polygon, I'll start my polygon here, and now it's drawing from that vertex. So you see this corner points. I'm going to click here to draw that polygon. And now once I select the polygon, you will see we have the option for sides and offset, radius and join status. So let's draw a polygon with a side of, let's say, 10. and then I'm gonna zoom in here and I'm gonna start my polygon, and now you can see we have 10 sides. So you need to pay attention to this option bar where you get a lot of useful options here. Now we know how to create polygon, rectangle, line. Now let's look at the arc as well. I'm going to press escape one time to make sure that I'm not selecting anything. I'm going to click on this arc. So the first arc is start, end, and radius. Basically you will define 2 points, starting point and ending point, and then you will define the radius. Let's check it out. I'm going to click on it and I will start my point from here, and then I will take the cursor, and this is going to be my end point. And now I can move my cursor to give it a radius. So as you can see, I can click here and this will draw an arc for me. Then the next one is center and arc. So let's click on that. I'm gonna give a radius of let's say center point would be this, and then I can move my cursor. As you can see, it's drawing an arc now, and then I'll click and then I move my cursor. Now I can define the length of my arc. The next arc we have is tangent and arc. For that we need to have 2 points, so I'm going to select that. I'm going to click on this point and I'm going to take that cursor here, and now as you can see it drawn an arc between these 2 points. The next one we have is fillet arc. So it's basically going to give you a round corners. Tangent, select this arc and select this arc, and now as you can see we are drawing the arc. Okay, that's called fillet. It's going to change those corner points as well. I've deleted all the walls we had, and we're going to start from a new wall command. So I'm going to select the wall command, and now we're going to look at some option bar options. So first option is height of the wall and depth of the wall. So now let's say I'll draw a wall, but I have 2 levels here. So I have level 2 and side. So I want, whenever I draw a wall, I want this to go up to level 2. So what I can do here, I can select that. Right now it is selected to unconnected, which is this height of the wall. Let's just do that manually first. So I'm going to type 15 feet here and I will draw a wall. I'm going to press escape and escape, and as you can see we are not selecting any command now. We're going to go to elevation. I'm going to double click on ease, and now as you can see that we have unconnected wall which has a height of 15 feet. But I want to make sure that whenever I draw a wall on level 1, they will go up to level 2, and they will automatically set by the whatever the level 2 we have, level 2 height, right? So I'm going to delete this wall. We go back to level 1, and now if I select the wall command and I'm going to click here and I get the drop down menu, and I'm going to change this to level 2. So now we don't have to manually set the height of the wall. It will automatically adjust according to the level 2 height. Now let's draw a wall. I'm going to press escape, and now let's look at that in elevation. Now as you can see, I'm actually going to change this to north here. So now as you can see, we've drawn a wall, and then its height is automatically set according to level 2. Now look what happens if I select this level, and if I move this up, and as you can see the wall height is moving as well. So no matter what your wall height was, whenever you move the level, it will always be to the level 2. It will always go up to level 2. Alright, so that is the benefit of using levels and making sure that your object goes up to the particular level. Now let's go back to level 1. I'm going to delete this wall command. Let's select the wall command again, and we know that we can set the height according to the levels we have, and we can do that manually, which would be unconnected. Now this next option has a wall line location. Now by default it's set to wall center line. Now I'm gonna draw a wall here. Basically I'm gonna try creating a room of, let's just say, click here, click here, click here, and then click here. I'm gonna zoom into this, and then I'm going to draw another wall here. Let's click on modify. I'm gonna delete this wall, and I'm gonna move this down by selecting this circle vertex, and I'm gonna align this here. Now pay attention when I select the wall command, and I will select this as an finish exterior, so finish face exterior. So once I click on that, now I'm going to draw a line, And now as you can see, it is actually starting from the finished exterior, as you can see here. Now if I press escape and I will change this to core center line, and if I draw a wall from here, and now as you can see, it is starting from the core center line wherever we selected. I'm gonna press escape. The next option we have is interior. So if I select that and I want to start a wall from here, and now as you can see, it is starting from face interior. So these are the few options that you need to play around and get comfortable with to working with walls. Now we have this option, allow join status. So basically when you create a wall, when you select the chain tool, and it will join those walls automatically. That's what it does. Now we have drawn a wall, like it's kind of room here. Now we need to look at some of the properties of the wall. So if I select that wall, I go to the properties palette, and here I can see what kind of wall I have created here. So the wall was 200 millimeter generic wall, and I can see the wall location, which was wall center. So the base constraint is set to level 1. What does that mean? If we go to south elevation, so the wall will start from level 1. That's our base constraint. We go back to level 1, and then we have this top constraint. It is set to level 2. But if we select unconnected and I click on apply, and I'll go to south elevation, now we set that wall to unconnected, and if I move my level, let's select the level, and if I move my level, as you can see, these walls will move with the level. But because this wall was unconnected, it will not care about what the level does, what the level height is. Alright, so I'm gonna press Ctrl Z to undo, and we go back to level 1 and select this wall here, and now this is still unconnected, so I'm gonna select from here and set that to up to level 2 and click on apply. The next option is offset. We'll talk about that later when we work with the geometry in Revit. We're gonna look at some dimensions as well. So dimensions 18 feet, as you can see here, that's the dimension we have, and that's pretty much it in the properties palette. Now we know how to create walls. Let me just go back to wall command. We know about what are the options we have in the option bar. Now we have some option called this pick lines. Now if we go back, we have this model palette in our architectural tab. Here we have an option for line model. So let's select that, and we get this modify panel. So we have this draw panel inside that. If I click on this line style, I get to see different line styles here. Wide line, thick line, default is set to line. So select that, and now I'm gonna select this line, and I'm gonna draw a 2D line here. This is a 2D line, okay? This is just a geometry we have, and then we just press escape twice to get out from the command. Now I'm going to select the wall command, and now instead of drawing in a wall, I want to draw a wall wherever I have this line drawn. So what I can do, I can select this pick line, and then in the properties palette, whatever the type of the wall you have selected, that will be drawn. Now I can just pick the line here. So I'm going to click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, click here, and as you can see, it's drawing along. That's a pick line command. Now we have this pick face as well that will work in a 3D. So if we have any 3D outline, then we can select this pick face command. That will create a face between those lines. We've been using this basic wall generic 200 mm. Now let's look how we can modify that. I'm going to select the wall command again, and before I draw that, I'm going to click on this drop down menu, and I get to see all the walls that are available for me to use. So we have exterior block, empty, stud, and we have exterior brick on CMU. All of these walls are available, but we can actually create our own wall. Let me show you how to do that. If you click on this edit type, you get this dialog box. First thing I want to say that you always duplicate that basic wall. Do not override that, because you will lose that wall. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on duplicate, and I'm going to say my 9-inch wall, and I'm going to click OK. And now I have all the properties already set for me, what we had for a basic wall. Now what I'm going to do is click on structure and click on edit. Now I get this dialog box here. Now here I can see what kind of structure I have to create this wall. Now we have the structure 1, which basically is set by category. The material hasn't been set, and then I have this dimension for that structure. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to delete that, but first we need to have something in it, right? So I'm going to click on insert first, and then I'm going to delete this. So let's just select this whole lot and then click on delete. Well, we can't keep that 0, so I'm going to give it of 9-inch value. Okay, and then select this and delete it. Now it's going to go away because we had only 0 dimension for our structure 1. And I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to name it brick. And then we can change the thickness as well. So I want to keep that 7-inch brick outside. Now we need to have another structure which is going to be inside the house. Let's click on insert again, and then I'm going to give it value of 2-inch. So that's going to be our, let's say, concrete on the wall inside that. Now we can add a material as well. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click on this little box here, which will open up this dialog box. And here I can select the material for that particular structure. So let's search for that. I'm going to type brick here, and it's going to search for me. So it's a brick common. I'm going to select that. I'm going to click OK, and that is a brick now. And now for structure 1, I'm going to click on this box again, and we can select concrete. So that's going to be a concrete here. Let's just say lightweight. And it all works with your rendering as well. So whatever the material you have, that will be applied to the wall, and once you render, that's going to get applied in rendering as well. Now let's just rename it if we can. I'm going to name it brick. Well, we need to select it from the option here. So core boundaries, let's just say structure 1. Now that's how you can create your walls. And I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to click OK as well. Now I'm going to select this my 9-inch wall instead of the basic wall. And now let's draw a wall. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to draw a wall. I'm going to press escape one time. Right now we don't see any structure here, but Revit has this pre-visual standards. So if you look at the bottom here, we can click on it, and we have coarse, medium, and fine. Let's click on fine. So once I click on fine, you can see that we have the brick structure outside and the concrete on the other side. Let's look at the medium as well. Let's click on a medium. That will show us pretty much the same thing. Alright, so this is how you can edit your walls, and it's pretty like you are, I mean, if you are an engineer, then you should be able to know what kind of structure you want to use. Let's select the wall command again, edit type, duplicate, and then edit structure. Okay, so this is how you can create the wall, and there's a few more options we're gonna talk about in the later videos when we talk about this modify panel, such as this align tool, move tool, copy, offset, and all those stuff. So now we understand how to create the basic walls. We'll look at some advanced feature when we actually work on our project, and I'll see you guys in the next one.